Hello and welcome to the School Jotter Podcast, where we break down the latest in education. I'm Alex, and today we're talking about Ofsted's new assessment system, what's changing, what it means for schools, and whether this new approach will actually make a difference. Joining me is Sean Gilligan, founder of Webanywhere, an expert in school technology and digital learning. Sean, welcome.
Thanks, Alex. Great to be here. Ofsted's changes are a big deal, so I'm looking forward to unpacking what this means for schools and educators.
Let's start with the basics. Ofsted inspections have been a hot topic for years. The old system focused on four key areas: the quality of education, behaviour and attitudes, personal development, and leadership and management. Schools got a one-word grade: outstanding, good, requires improvement, or inadequate. That system had its critics.
Absolutely. The single-word judgment system was seen as too blunt. A school could be doing incredible work in some areas, but still be labelled requires improvement overall, which didn't give a fair picture. Now, Ofsted is introducing a more detailed assessment, breaking performance into 9 specific areas with a 5-point grading scale.
So instead of a single word, schools will get a clearer breakdown.
Exactly. The new framework assesses schools in areas like leadership, curriculum, teaching quality, behaviour, attendance, inclusion, safeguarding, and student development. Each area will be graded using a 5-point scale. The top grade is exemplary, then it's strong. Third is secure, fourth is attention needed, and finally the fifth is causing concern, and it's colour-coded for clarity, which makes it easier for parents, teachers and governors to interpret.
Beyond the grading change, Ofsted is also shifting focus. There's a bigger emphasis on inclusion now, isn't there?
Yes, and that's a really important shift. Schools will now be assessed on how well they support disadvantaged pupils, students with SEND, special educational needs and disabilities, and those from diverse backgrounds. This reflects growing concerns about gaps in attainment and support for vulnerable learners.
So it's not just about test scores anymore?
No, and that's a good thing. Schools are being evaluated on how well they nurture students rather than just exam performance. The new framework also looks at mental health support, wellbeing and pastoral care, which weren't always front and centre before.
That's a major shift. And what about safeguarding? That's always been a key focus.
Ofsted has strengthened its safeguarding expectations. Schools need to show not just that policies exist, but that they're actively followed and effective. Inspectors will be looking closely at reporting processes, staff training, and how well schools create a safe environment.
So let's talk impact. What does all of this mean for schools in practical terms?
First, more transparency. Schools will get a much clearer roadmap for improvement. If one area needs work, they'll know exactly where to focus. Second, fewer high-stakes surprises. The single-word judgment often felt unfair, especially for schools doing great work in difficult circumstances. With this new system, the nuances are recognised.
That should help schools feel less punished by inspections, right?
Yes, but there's still pressure. Schools needing improvement will get follow-up visits and monitoring calls to make sure they're addressing issues, and parents will be looking at these report cards closely when choosing schools.
And what's the timeline for all of this?
The new grading system is under consultation until May 2025, with full rollout expected by November 2025. Schools have some time to prepare, but it's coming quickly.
All right, final thoughts. Does this system actually fix the problems of the old one?
It's a step in the right direction: more detail, better transparency, and a stronger focus on inclusion and well-being. But it's still Ofsted, so schools will need to prove impact, not just compliance. It depends on how well inspections are carried out. If they're constructive rather than punitive, this could be a much fairer system.
Sounds like we'll need to watch how it plays out. Sean, thanks for joining me today. It's been a great discussion.
Thanks, Alex. Always a pleasure.
And that's a wrap for today's School Jotter podcast. If you want to find out how education technology can help your school with Ofsted inspections, from managing attendance to inclusive education and staying compliant, visit schooljotter.com to access further resources.